Okay, so okay, so I hope you can hear me. I've now started recording the session. So we were talking about reacting to situations. So when somebody says doesn't pick your call, for me, I always say to myself, this guy must have a very good reason why he's not picking up my call. And I know very well if I maintain a positive mental attitude, if I don't cuss him out, then in future, that door is open, that in future, he'll be able to join my business when the time is right. And I've seen so many situations. One of my directors called Kimani. One time I prospected him when a while back, and he was not interested in Neo Life. I gave him a flyer, never responded to it. I tried following him up. I clearly was not interested. But a few years later, I met him outside the warehouse and I was driving my first car. He got so excited about the car, he decided to join immediately. And he actually joined with about 7 people in his team. So you see, this is a situation whereby somebody was very negative, turned very, very positive with time. But if I had handled him wrongly, I would have lost him for good. Yeah. Sometimes you call somebody and they don't pick up your call. For me, I have a rule. If you don't pick up my call, I will leave you for now and I will call you another day and I'll keep calling because you have a choice. You're a grown up. You have a choice. You can either pick my call or not pick my call. Either way, it's okay as far as I'm concerned because it is your decision as a human being as per what you'd like to do. But I always like taking it positively and saying that you have a good reason, but that reason will change with time. So if I give you like a month or two and call you again, chances are high your situation will have changed. Something else that I always do, I may not call you, but I'll invite you to a meeting, send you a message to invite you to a meeting, or I'll send you something positive, or I will send you a clip about a product that you might be interested in. I'll keep following you up indirectly without actually calling you and asking you when are you joining or when are you buying these products. I'll send you information about our products, about invite you for a business meeting or a product session like the ones we have on Sunday. I'm still doing follow-up, and yet you stopped picking up my calls. And what happens is that with time, that person comes and asks you, oh, now my cousin has this problem. Do you have anything in your products that can help him? And that's life. In fact, I learned this from a doctor. He's a member of my team. He told me, Fred, for him, he doesn't worry too much. He just wants to go to school, become a doctor, and specialize in his field, and then wait. The clients will come because all his age mates, by the time they reach 50, they'll all be having a disease or the other, and they'll come to him for solutions. And I thought that was a very bright way of looking at it because in our business, once you plant a seed with somebody, and whether he says yes, no, maybe, I'm thinking about it, all those are irrelevant. What matters is, um, are you patient enough? Because when you tell somebody about this opportunity and he goes on his way, he doesn't even respond or responds negatively. You've already planted a seed. You've done your job. When the seed matures and starts germinating, you'll be around to actually harvest. And that's why we say you need to stick around so that success can find you when it comes, because success doesn't come today, doesn't come tomorrow. Success takes a while before it comes around. And when it comes, unfortunately, many of us are not there to receive it because we've already quit on the opportunity. But if you give yourself the 2 to 5 year plan that we talk about, you'll find that the seeds that you plant today will actually grow, germinate, and grow, and they will find you in the business and you'll benefit from them. So when you talk to somebody, don't get emotionally involved on the result. Don't feel discouraged, too discouraged, like you're down there because somebody who was positive either is negative or somebody who had promised did not come through. Don't worry too much about that. because you'll find that at the end of the day, this person who was so negative is bound to change with time, and you have seen it happen. So plant the seed, expect the best from that seed that you have planted, and move on with your life. And you'll find that you'll be harvesting a lot of positives that are going to come your way. So we are talking about positive mental attitude, and I said positive mental attitude is knowing how to feel. I have said that there are no problems in this world, only challenges. And the difference is that challenges you can overcome, problems stop you, and you're not able to move forward. Then I've talked about being proactive rather than reactive. When somebody calls you a fool, and this happens when, especially in relations where you are married or a brother, sister kind of relationship, you find that somebody can utter a negative word and you have a choice. If you utter a negative word, then you have an argument. But if you keep quiet or you utter something positive, then you find the other person doesn't have the energy to continue the argument, and they have to move on to something else. And you might look like a fool on the outset, but at the end of the day, you have not engaged yourself, you're not angry, and you're ready to face the day, you're excited about the day, and you're better off. So you become the bigger person by not engaging in a back and forth with somebody, and which will actually make you feel bad and make that person feel bad, and probably mess up your day, which you had planned out very well and you expected to do so much. But because you woke up and you had an argument, then you end up messing up the whole day, or you sleep with a very bad attitude because now you had an argument just before bed. So always remember that the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People to Your Way of Thinking, gave me some tips on human relations. And one of the key tips that it mentioned is that people will never remember what you said, but they'll remember the way you made them feel. People won't remember what you said in most cases, but they'll remember how you made them feel. So if you make somebody feel good, they remember you as a good person. If you make them feel bad, then they'll remember that curse word. If you call somebody a bad name, that person remembers that name for the rest of his life. If you make somebody feel bad, feel embarrassed, they remember that for the rest of your life. If you make them feel good, on the other hand, they'll remember you made them feel, you're a nice person and you are just the best, you know? So it is our choice by our words and what you say. You can either make somebody feel better or feel very bad. And if you make them feel good, then they leave that day feeling better. They feel excited about you. They're looking forward to be in your presence tomorrow. But if you cast them out or if you utter a negative word, then they will avoid you. And this will happen especially with downlines. Sometimes they do crazy things. If you cast them out, if you use bad words, and I like saying this, when you're correcting somebody, use a sandwich approach. First, give them a compliment, then the correction, then give a compliment. For example, if somebody, let's say, for example, came late for a meeting and you told them, okay, fine, so-and-so, welcome. And you want to correct him because of coming late. So how do you go about it? The guy is looking sharp, maybe he's in a tie, you look for something positive. Say, wow, today you're looking fantastic. Wow. I can assure you today all the PVs are going to be on your way. But I wish you would have come a bit earlier, so that you could have gotten here before the guests. And the guests would have found you because you're a leader. The guests would have found you in the meeting. And there you are, you've already given a correction. And then now you remember that you need to sandwich it with something else. And you say, but now since you're here, why don't you take this? I know you're good at this. Why don't you take it and then run with this topic? You see, I've started with a compliment, I've given a correction, and then I've given a compliment, and that's it. So why should you go to those extents? You find that when you do that, you make the person see the mistake he has done, you've corrected him, and he's ready to grow and he feels like he has let you down. So next time he will endeavor to get there earlier. But if you say, what's wrong with you? I mean, can't you see, are you not serious about your business? And you give him a dress down. What happens is that many people will rebel against that. And that will mean that the next time they will still come late or not at all, because you made them feel bad. And especially when you do it in public. I always say this, correct in private, compliment in public. So shout the compliment in public, but when you're correcting, do it privately. Yeah. And the same thing also happens in families. Try and compliment your spouse in public, but correct in private. Have your arguments by yourself in your bedroom, not in front of the children, because that doesn't benefit the children or yourself or your spouse. Yeah. So that's a case of positive mental attitude. Now, how do you develop a positive mental attitude? But before I come to how do you develop it, why should you have a positive mental attitude? Number one, a few reasons why you should have a positive mental attitude is because you will achieve more with a positive mental attitude than a negative mental attitude. When you rise above situations, you achieve more. You're able to talk to more people. If somebody says no to you and you say, well, some will, some won't, so what next? Yeah. Some will, some won't, so what? Someone is waiting. Yeah. If you have that kind of attitude, then when people say no to you, I mean, you just pick up and you move on. You don't lose sleep over that because somebody is waiting for you out there. And you find that you're more productive that way. But if you don't have that kind of attitude, then when somebody says no to you, you're even scared of making the next call or sending the next message because the person that you sent the message before was negative. Yeah. And your day stops there. So the first benefit is that you achieve more with a positive mental attitude than with a negative mental attitude. Number two, you remain sane. You remain sane in the midst of calamity. You see, when you wake up every day, there are challenges that come our way. And if you react with them positively, then you're able to rise above it and move on with your life. But if you react to them negatively, then you become stressed out and your day becomes messed up by somebody that said something bad or did something bad to you. So when you have a positive mental attitude, you're able to remain sane amidst calamity. Then the third point is you rise above challenges and give solutions. When you have a PMA, you're able to rise above challenges or problems and give solutions. And and closely follow to that, when you are positive, you become a leader who sees opportunities where there are obstacles. Yeah. Leaders essentially are people who see opportunities where there are problems or obstacles, and they help their followers to actually see the positive in the challenge. They say that every cloud has a silver lining. And as a leader, your work is to see the silver lining and focus your people on the silver lining in the cloud and move towards the silver lining. And they'll be better off by focusing on the positive of every challenge than the negative of every challenge. And remember, there is nothing good or bad. It's just thinking that makes it so. And that statement can be very controversial. There's nothing good or bad. It's just thinking that makes it so. But I always like illustrating it with a real life example of this situation whereby you are, today if I told you to eat a dog, if I fried dog meat very nicely and I told you this is dog meat, would you eat it? The answer is a big no. Chances are high you will not touch that thing with a flagpole. But if you are born Chinese, or if your mom brought you up and that was your delicacy, you'll eat it without even having a second thought. What is the difference? It's just you're thinking about the whole idea of dog meat. And who brought it up? It's probably your mom and the culture of where you grew up. But if you grew up in a different culture, you'd probably be eating dogs and frogs and snakes and all that. So that's an example of there's nothing good or bad, it's just thinking that makes it so. So using that statement positively means that when things happen to you, which look bad, look for something positive in that thing that has happened to you. Okay. And you'll become a better person. Now, the last point of why you should have a positive mental attitude. Now, you are able to become successful. You're able to become successful faster with a positive mental attitude than with a negative mental attitude. And you are able to remember one thing that happens is that you become what you confess with your mouth. What you think about, what you confess is what you become. So if you confess positive things about yourself, if you think positive things, then that is what you become. And that actually leads me to now, how do you develop a positive mental attitude? Number one, listen to a lot of video clips on YouTube. I do that a lot on a daily basis. That keeps me positive. Number two, associating with positive people like what you're doing on this call. When you come for such meetings, then you associate with people who are very positive, and it rubs off. You also become like your mentors, like the people in the team. Having a self-talk. I'm coming to a self-talk just now. That's a very powerful tool that actually helps you to stay positive. Reading positive books like The Magic of Thinking Big. There are so many books out there that you can read, which will actually, there are also audio books that you can listen to. If you don't like reading, you can listen to an audiobook on YouTube. I do that a lot. I like listening more than reading. So I listen to books over and over again. And remember, if you're listening to a book, you have to listen to it 6 times to hear it once. So you have to keep listening to it and applying and take some notes and see what you can apply from that book. Yeah. Prayer will help you to keep a positive mental attitude. And every morning you should have a sequence of things that you do that will help you to have a positive mental attitude. Have some bit of quiet time, read the Bible. I don't know whether Muslims read the Quran in the morning, but read the holy book that that you guys use. Then I've talked about saying a prayer, reading the Bible. Then do a self-talk. Then visualize. Close your eyes and see yourself achieving the goal or dream that you want to achieve. That's a very powerful thing. It's more powerful than any of the above. When you close your eyes and you see yourself being called up, being recognized as a new One Ruby director, as a new Sapphire director, as a new director, as a new executive manager, as a new senior manager, and then seeing the check that has come with it, you find that when you do that, you wake up and you feel so charged up and you feel good things are going to happen today. And then the law of expectation kicks in. And the law of expectation says that we basically get what we expect. Yeah. And if you're expecting good things for that day, that's exactly what you get. Yeah. So these are a few things that you do in the morning, and that gives you makes you charged up. Then the other thing is look at your goals, read them in your self-talk, and say them like they're already happening. So that is how you develop a positive mental attitude. Now, let me just quickly touch on a self-talk, because self-talk is one of the tools that it's free of charge, it doesn't cost anything, but it will actually help you to keep a positive mental attitude. What is a self-talk? A self-talk is a positive statement of the way you'd like your life to become. Now, in your self-talk, you write things that you're expecting to happen in your life, but you write them like they've already happened in a positive way. For example, when I was a distributor, my self-talk used to read, I am a manager going senior manager. When I became a senior manager, my self-talk changed. I started saying, I am a director going sapphire. When I became a director, my self-talk changed. I said, I am a world team member going one ruby. So I keep on changing it, confessing the next step, going the next step. And it attracts you to that. So you need to sit down and write down a self-talk. And even as we are doing this on this call, it's good to do it practically. So I would challenge you to write down a few things and put it in your diary where you can carry it every day. Because it's something that you need to recite at least 2 to 3 times in a day. In the morning when you wake up, at lunchtime, in the evening, you need to say your self-talk so that it keeps your mind positive and you're able to face the challenges, especially when you're new. You're able to face the challenges that come your way. So what are some of the things that you should write in your self-talk? So I'm going to mention a few words. Make sure you write a few lines and you can build on it later. So one of the things I say is, I'm alive. I'm alive. I'm excited. I am fired up. You know, I'm alive. I'm excited. I'm fired up. My team is growing like crazy. My team is growing like crazy. Remember, whatever you confess with your mouth, you will possess. So if you say my team is growing like crazy, it will grow. If you say my team is already dead, then it will die. Even the ones who are trying to wake up will die because you've already cast them. Yeah. So watch your words, watch what you say. If some of your team members are not working, me I always say, hey, awa melala bana. Somebody who is sleeping will wake up, but somebody who is dead is gone. So be careful the words that you use, because the words that you use either curse or bless. Yeah. So I say, I'm alive, I'm excited, I'm fired up. My team is growing like crazy. I am a winner. I am a winner. Then I say, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Now, I know you have Muslims on the call. You can replace that with something else that is similar to what I've just said. But you need to look into a superior power than yourself. And that's why I say, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Because when I lock into that, when I lock into Christ, into God who is all powerful, then it means that I can achieve anything that is in that self-talk. So the next thing that I say to myself, I am, now you look at your position. If you're a manager, you can say I'm a senior manager going director. If you're a director, say I'm a sapphire going one ruby. And you put it there. So put down that, say, I am a sapphire going one ruby. I am a one ruby going two ruby. You have to confess it. Confess your next step going the next step. Then you say, I earn. How much do you want to earn? And it has to be something that will stretch you, but is realistic. So if you're a distributor, you can say, I earn over 30,000 every day, and it's getting better. If you're a director, maybe you can say, I earn over 50,000, 80,000 a month, and it's getting better. So say that something that stretches you, but something that is realistic. Yeah. So confess that. Then the next thing that you say, I sponsor young, sharp, productive people. I sponsor young, sharp, productive people. And then the other thing I say is, everybody I talk to joins my business. Everybody I talk to joins my business, and all who join become successful. That's what I say to myself. And I put in other things in there that I'd like to achieve in my team. For example, if you have somebody in your team that you'd like to become a manager or senior manager or even a director or executive manager, then state it positively in your self-talk. You say, let's say you have a downline called John. John and Mary are brand new executive managers in my team going director. You see? That time I'm saying that maybe John and Mary are just distributors or they are just managers, but I'm already confessing positively in their lives And it's only a matter of time they're going to become what I'm confessing. Yeah. So write down your self-talk and put in there things. You can say, I'm the best father in the whole wide world. I have fantastic kids. My kids are always number one in class, or are always top 10 in class. If you confess that, that is exactly what is going to happen. Now, one thing that I'll tell you is you won't do a self-talk today and then everything happens tomorrow. No, no, no. It takes a while. You have to do it patiently and consistently over a period. All my diaries have a self-talk, and I can see where I was in life based on the self-talk. Because I used the self-talk, and I was even able to decide the number of children that I would get through a self-talk. Because I used to say, I'm married to my best friend, and I have 4 beautiful children. Now, I didn't say whether they were boys or girls. I said 4 beautiful children. And that is exactly what happened to me. And today I have 4 kids. When I got 1 kid, I was so worried. 2 kids, I was quite worried, saying, hey, these kids are becoming too many. And I tried to change my self-talk, but it was too late. For so many years, I'd be saying 4 kids. Now, when I changed to 3 kids, I mean, God said, no, you've already confessed 4 kids. I got 4 kids. Yeah. So confess positively into your life. Speak to your life positively, knowing full well that whatever you speak, you will achieve. If you're not good at talking to people, say, I am excellent at talking to people. And when you say you are excellent, with time, you'll become so good at it, you'll be shocked yourself. So anything that is an obstacle for you, put it positively, like it's already happening positively. And guess what? It will start happening positively, and you'll get very positive results. So write down your self-talk. Don't say that it's me, I have it in my mind, I normally say it. No, that won't work. For a self-talk to work, you have to hear the words out aloud. So you have to sit somewhere, look at your diary, and read it out aloud so that you hear the words. Remember, it's the words that bless or curse. Yeah. So you have to hear the words out aloud. You have to say it out aloud. And so you can get a corner where you do it. And then you do it on a daily basis. Be consistent, be persistent, and keep doing it. Finally, it is going to happen for you. So that's a self-talk. I challenge you to write your self-talk. Write a few words. Mine now goes to a few pages. But when it started, it was just a few lines. And I realized that everything I've ever put in my self-talk, I have achieved. Everything. And I keep updating it. I started saying, I mean, even before I started traveling, I would say every year I travel with Neolife, and I kept saying it until it happened. Everything I've bought or owned or achieved, I spoke it into existence before it happened. So if you want to accelerate your business, if you want your business to grow faster, you have this resource that is free of charge that can actually help you. Now, let me give you an example of what a self-talk can do. When you utter positive words, then you get positive things happening in your life. Let me give you an example. I used to believe that I'm not lucky. Anytime I would go for a raffle, like when the company would call us for a meeting and there's a raffle and they are doing raffle tickets, since I knew I'd never won anything in my life, I used to believe, oh, me, I can never win anything. Until I read The Magic of Thinking Big, and it said that successful people work with luck. They believe they are lucky and that things will go well in their life, and things do go well because of their belief, because of the law of expectation. And we went to this function at, I think it was at Sarit Center, and they called up there was a raffle, I remember very well, and each raffle was, everybody was getting $100. The ones who were called, 7 people were to get $100 for just showing up for the meeting. And they did a raffle, and I kept saying, I'm always lucky, my team is always lucky. And they called out my name, and I won. In fact, the first ticket was a digit higher than mine. Second ticket was a digit lower than mine. I was seated in front and I woke up and I said, the next one must be mine. And yes, it was mine. And I walked up and I picked $100. I spoke the same to my team. I trained them on being lucky. And we went to Safari Park. And it was a meeting that had more than 2,000 people. And they did a raffle. And there were 5 gifts which were given. Out of the 5 gifts, 4 were from my team. Not that my team was the largest. In fact, it was one of the smallest. But because we were super charged up and we were saying we are always lucky, we always win. We won, yeah, because we were always lucky. So a self-talk and just having that belief that you are lucky makes you lucky and makes you successful, yeah. The last thing that I always put in my self-talk, or I just want to mention about, is that I always ask God for miracles when I do my prayers. And when I do ask for miracles, that day I'm able to see miracles. Let me give you an example. There's a day I woke up, did my prayers, and did my self-talk. And sometimes it happens so fast. Even before I finish my prayers, I get a call, I get a message, and I see the miracle right there. A lady called me and she told me she was on the warehouse that day and whether I was in town. I said yes, and she said come to the warehouse. So I went to the warehouse. She said I was in your team a long time ago and I disappeared, but now I want to come back. What does it take? And I told her how much it costs and she joined immediately. I mean, what is that? And she bought Supergirl. Isn't that a miracle? Just out of the blues. I'd not seen her like almost 20 years. She just called me at the warehouse. And at the warehouse, people are trying to dupe her to join under them. Telling them, oh, Fred, I don't know this, Fred that, Fred the other. But he insisted he wants to see me personally. And until I went there and he joined immediately. So miracles do happen, but you have to ask God for miracles and also mention them in your self-talk. Then you attract them in your life, right? So with those few or many remarks, I want to say that personal growth is a major, major journey. It's a great investment, and Grace, thanks for having this for your team. And guys, if you embrace personal growth and development, if you develop your self-talk, write it down and start saying it on a daily basis, you will change your business and your business will grow like it has never been this year. So that is it on my side. I want to hand over the meeting back to Grace for the last words. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Fred. That was a great session. And I want to believe that all of us have really, really learned. And we have a task to go out and make sure that we write a self-talk. And we have been guided on how to do it. And for sure, the self-talk works. It has worked for me. It has worked for those who have learned it and have decided to take the step of faith and worked it. So just look at what we have learned. I remember my self-talk was, I am courageous, I am confident, because I was the opposite of all those things, you know. And I was told, as you write your self-talk, look at what you're not good at, and then do not keep beating yourself, confess the positive or what you really want to be. And I kept saying it every single day. I am a 3 in 30 achiever. My team is sponsoring like crazy. I have the best team. And you know, that time I'm saying that I'm just a manager with, I think, 1 or 2 people. And I want to tell you, everything has come to pass through a self-talk. So it's a powerful thing to have positive expectancy every day, even when people are saying it's January, you are very positive and still business is happening because it's the law of attraction. So I challenge everyone on the call, please take some time today. It doesn't take very long, just 10 minutes, and you'll jot something, probably in the book that you carry every single day, where you write your name list and where you write your notes. At the front page, as you open it, write your self-talk so that you can be seeing every moment you have that book. For the PMA, let's practice to do it. And I believe that that is something that we really need in the business. Thank you very much, Fred. I believe that we are going to act on this information, and that is part of the growth that we really need. So God bless you, everyone. Let's go and thank you for the participants today. The turn-up was also very good. And let's encourage all of us to be attending 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. We've just gone past a little bit by 9 minutes, but we always finish at 7 so that people can continue preparing to go to work. So thank you. God bless you. Have a fantastic day. Remember, in the evening, we have Pascal with a lot of great insights and training about products and the business, and also part of motivation. Purpose to be there with your team at 8 in the evening. Tomorrow Kiswahili session will be there, so start inviting for tomorrow evening session. The events happening in Mombasa, today there is Malindi, tomorrow there is Kilifi, and on Saturday there is Mombasa. So in case you know people in those areas, Malindi, Kilifi, and Mombasa, invite as many people as possible. Also on Saturday, we are having a Meru event on Saturday at Paramount Hotel. Invite people in Meru if you have people in Meru. These are the events that are happening, and maybe the others have small events that are happening in their teams. Very important to focus. Remember, month end is on 1st of February. 1st of February is the last day to do our 100 points. So every leader must check to it that you encourage your team members to make sure they do their 100 points. Remember, everyone who does 250 points within a month will earn a check, but will not be called a manager. A manager are those people who finish with 500 points. Whether 500 alone, whether 500 with 2 people, 3 people, or 500 having sponsored 3 people. But when we sponsor the 3 people and they do 100 points, of course, you know, there's an extra money they are getting, and also there's the extra product. So it's important that we lead our team to the right information so that we don't have hiccups at the end of the month. I wish you a fantastic month. This is the week I always say it's a marathon. We have been told the whistle has been blown. So we are putting extra effort to close the month well, and we all can make it, and it is very, very much possible. Thank you, guys. Let's unmute and just finish with the word of grace. Thank you, Fred, for your time. Thank you. Let's just unmute and finish. Yeah. May the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ and the love of God and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with us now and forevermore. Amen. 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 Amen.
Good day.
Good day, everybody.
Bye bye. Have a blessed day. Bye bye.
Bye.